Okay, people. So I'm serious. I got like $500 worth of bricks. For $5. $5. And don't forget, I have these things. Can you see? Beautiful. And then I have my own. The only problem now is I got into an argument with my son yesterday over a chair for the basement. So I don't know what's happening with him now, right? Because he thinks I don't love him now because I was being stubborn about this chair because the girls are moving out. So I was thinking about him sitting in a nice chair for himself, plus whoever might move in. But anyway, that's not what he was thinking, so hold on. And then my neighbors gave me this stuff. You wait till I show you how much is in the back. Plus I have a whole bunch in my house. I actually have to open these up and let them air out because they're sweating, right? They've been in it like a shed of sorts. So I gotta air them out and wipe down the bags and everything. And this is gonna be for Andre's walnut art. And I'm gonna show you how much they gave me in the back. Hold on. Anyway, as you can see, my younger son had a hissy fit last night. Right? Because I wanted to bring in a chair. And I was being stubborn about the chair. He felt that I didn't care because I said, I don't fucking care. I'm bringing home this chair, you know, like it's $10. It's, you know, I'm trying to do something with the basement here. And, you know, I don't really want 2 couches in there, people. I thought 1 couch and 1 chair, you know what I mean? That's what I was thinking. He wants to turn it into an art room. And I'm like, well, not if I'm going to be renting it out to other people. Like, oh, anyway. Look what my neighbors gave me. Do you see? I have like 3 boxes of this in my house. You just seen what I had in the front. So they're sweating though. They're sweating. So I have to open them up, right, to let them air out and repackage them and wipe down the bags. This is going to be for Andre's walnut art. If I was more involved with the non-profit in terms of out in the community doing things, it's like $6 a bag when he bought them. My God, there's like hundreds of them here. Well, not hundreds, but pretty damn close to 100. Over 50 anyway. This would be good for in like rec centers, or I was thinking because they're elderly people, right? And I just keep thinking about that one elderly Chinese woman or whatever she was in that old folks home with Joan there, where everybody else was white. And that one woman was just sitting there in front of the TV all the time in a wheelchair going, ah, 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 ah. You know, and I mean, like, sure, the white people were being disturbed with her outbursts, right? But then at the same time, there was nothing there for her. There was no one there that spoke her language. You know, she was basically abandoned, just like the rest of those people in those old folks' homes. So something like this, you know, you could take and incorporate, like, you're going to see I'm going to be using this with Andre's walnut art projects, right? Because this is like it's almost like a wallpaper, because you glue it on, it just wet it and you stick it onto the wall and apparently it dries. And he took me into his house and I seen it and it looks really, really nice. But that's not what I'm going to use it for. So I'm going to use it for art. So they gave this all to me, plus what's in the front, plus what's in my yard, or in my house, I should say. So I got to do this, right? If the city was to drive by right now, they'd be like rolling their eyes. Hold on. Okay, people, so it's the 6th anyway of July 2017. This is the corner I'm in right now. I'm in my garage. I started spraying things down. I'm working in there. All right. I gotta wash these buckets for tomato plants. Try and get them in the greenhouse in the next couple of days going. All right. As you can see, this is what I'm doing. You're gonna see how it's gonna look different. There's that. Look at people, look at those funky toenails.
Oh my God, ew, Mom.
I remember when I was young, I used to paint my toenails too. Okay, people. Hold on a minute. I think that's too low. Or maybe I'll just turn this around. Oh, God. Okay, people. I don't know if this camera is working correctly. I know I look like crap. I've been outside. I was outside till 11 o'clock at night. Did that the other night. 10:30, 11 o'clock, coming in. I have to plant some tomatoes tomorrow in the greenhouse. I actually got into the greenhouse today, and those little tomato plants that I planted, boy, they really sprouted up. So I got some extra buckets I found today. So I'm going to put them in the ground tomorrow. But I got a letter from, well, something here, from Fraser Health. And of course they're trying to get it dismissed. I don't quite understand what they're doing here. Kind of like Uncle John's dream. What are you trying to tell me? Like, seriously. Notice of case planning conference. I don't know if they're doing a case planning conference or if they're trying to get it dismissed or what they're trying to do here. Like, people, like, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know any of this stuff. I really don't. And like, you know, I got the city cruising the alley. Now, they did say they were going to give me a week or two more, right? But it's just too much work, people. It's just too much work. And with these people liquidating their household, and I got no money. Are you listening, Fraser Health? My videos are, I talk about real stuff, people. Okay? I talk about the stuff that has been going on ever since I got onto YouTube. The first videos that I ever made when I got onto YouTube, I went down to the field over here talking about that property that $10 million later, $1 million per property, just a bunch of weeds and collecting dust, right? Tear down the houses and just add on another $1 million. You know, that 7 years ago should have been made into a community park. Seriously, there should be a petting zoo in there. There should be a horse in there. There should be chickens in there. There should be peacocks in there. There should be a pond in there with big koi in there. There should be a feeding program for these raccoons over there. There should be an area in there where community groups can come in with the children and do things. And same thing with the elderly or just families in general or just people, right? That's what I talked about when I first moved into this house. You can go into my videos. I talked about, what else did I talk about? I talked about the BP oil spill, right? I've been talking about the yard for years. I talked about how I wanted to, one of the reasons why, well, when I moved in, I didn't have a choice. It was either live with a crappy yard or get on it and start working on it, right? Uncle John said, just do what you gotta do. I said, okay. So I've been working on it for 7 years now, people, right? And I've walked you through it. And at one point, I said that one of the reasons that I do this is, one, I can show people what people can do, right? If you put your mind to it and you just hang in there long enough, right? Come a long way, growing a lot of food. But you know what? I think it's going to start going to waste now, people, because I got to drop almost everything that I got to do. And in the next 7 days, I got to figure out what the hell I got to do for court, because I got to go within 14 days. I don't know if it's from the date of this letter. Okay, I don't want to cry. But I don't know if it's from the date of this letter, which is dated July 5th. Okay. I got 14 days to fill out something. Seriously. Right? And they're mad at me. They're going for blood, people, okay? Because the notice of civil claim contains serious, damn right it's serious, 73... What can I do, people? Okay? I told you, I'm down to zero. But I had $500 worth of bricks given to me for $5. to compensate for everything that I don't have. And the last time I had bricks donated to me, in those days, I was talking about that it would be nice to have daycares such as, you know, with gardens and ponds and all this other stuff. So I'm hanging in there like a dirty shirt. So anyway, as I was saying, they're mad at me. The Fraser Health is mad at me, and I'm sure CIBC, I haven't heard anything from CIBC Bank yet, right? And I'm sure they're mad at me too, right? But the thing is, I'm not changing up on the things that I talk about as they come and go in my life. You know, down there should have been a park, right? The house could have been a daycare, right? Yard was a weed pit with mud and sand and mush and water and crud, and now I'm growing vegetables, and you know, I've got ponds and beautiful walkways coming, and you know, and sheds. There was never no sheds on this property when I moved in. You couldn't put your hammer, or I don't even put my hammers outside. Well, I do in one shed. But you had no place to put your tools, no place for storage, no place for the lawnmower, no place for Andre's toys, nothing. It was just a big, weedy lot. That's all it was. Because whoever lived here before didn't care, right? And obviously the landlords don't invest any time into the yard, which was fine. You know, okay. So anyway, they're choked. These people are choked, right? Because there's like, notice of civil claim contains serious allegations against Fraser Health Authority generally without any material facts. There's the material facts again, right? To support those allegations, including conspiracy, misconduct, misrepresentation, defamation, infliction of fear, panic, or distress, and others. Given the serious and unsupportive. Uncle John's been missing for 2.5 fucking years. How can they say that's unsupportive? Allegations raised by the plaintiff, the defendant will be applying to strike the notice of civil claim and will be seeking special costs. There's that big threat again, people, right? And they're not telling me, they're trying to tell me I'm not panicking. I sat there for 3 months over the winter time. That was the only time I had time to sit there and write that notice of claim with absolutely no assistance. Nobody even proofread it for me. I worked on that for so long, for so hard, that when I got up out of the chair, I couldn't even fucking walk. We'll be seeking special costs against the plaintiff. I'm going to jail, people. That's what's going to happen to me. Uncle John fucking put me in fucking jail. The Duncan clan put me in fucking jail. Uncle John didn't do it, though, because Uncle John would never have done this to this family. It was the Fraser Health Authority that allowed the Duncan clan to steal Uncle John's money and paid off the fucking bank to do it. Well, Fraser Health has their quality health care old folks home being propped up by Uncle John's pensions. Because that's what the BC Liberal government brought this province to. I emailed the new premier of this province. I didn't email. I put it directly on his Facebook page. I bet you I can go on his Facebook page now and find that same freaking request for him to do an internal investigation on the disappearance of John Bernard Duncan, a.k.a. Bernard John Duncan. If I thought it was so frivolous, I wouldn't be asking the premier, the new premier of this province. Uncle John had no superannuation life insurance policy. He saved the government $1 million fucking dollars when he reneged on that shit. The least the government can do is throw in $100,000 to find out what the hell happened to him. And put a stop to it, because it's not just him. Take it up with the ombudsman. They'll tell you. If you don't believe it from me, go listen to the ombudsman. That's what they get paid for. So anyway, I have to go outside tomorrow. I have to, people. I have to. I have to plant those tomatoes. I have to. Otherwise, the shit's just gonna start dying. I have to finish in the back. I was out there today, underneath the tree, clearing it out. And I'm going to go out tomorrow, and I'm going to plant the tomato plants first in the buckets in the greenhouse, because they seem to like it in there. And I've got some beans sitting in the little potter plants that need to go in the ground. Right? And then I'm going to take my butt over to the back, and I'll be out there till 11 o'clock tomorrow, and I plan on starting at around 9 or 10 in the morning. And I'll be out there till 11 o'clock at fucking night. And then I gotta come in and figure this shit out. With their threat. What you gonna do? Put me in jail? That's health care. I get no eye care. No dental care. No time to do my fucking taxes because I'm always stressed out. So I don't even qualify for anything anymore. My grandson never qualified for prescriptions. Doesn't qualify for dental, even though his grandmother is poor as a pauper. My kids are going crazy. Everything financially is still in limbo. Royal's gonna take me to court now, people. Because I just don't have the money to pay the bill. I told him, you need to go find John. You need to go find John. Or whoever has hold of his assets. So they're going to be taking me to court to go find John. That's what's going to happen. So I'll be in 3 court things. That's what Uncle John said. He took me, and at the end of the day, what came to the end of that dream? Because that's the only thing that's holding me together is that dream. I'm telling you right now. Okay. I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to be afraid.